Hi, question I got from Susan. Susan asked, can breathing help anxiety? Of course, breathing is directly connected to anxiety. For example, when you breathe normally, now let me change this perspective. If something happens which creates anxiety, for example, there's stress going on, or in the old ages when we saw a wolf or a tiger, we tend to breathe more. When you breathe more, paradoxically, less oxygen goes into the brain. Why? Because you breathe out more carbon dioxide than your body wants to. So your body is going into a state which it tries to help you out. And when this happens, your body does this, so there's less carbon dioxide released from your breathing. So to keep it really simple, if I breathe in air, in the air there's oxygen. And the oxygen is connected to the red blood cells. The red blood cells go through my body, and for example, when I'm thinking a lot or I'm doing exercise, my brain needs more oxygen than when I'm not thinking a lot. Okay, so when I work out a lot, my muscle wants more oxygen than it did when I didn't work out. So the oxygen-rich blood goes past the cells which ask more oxygen, and the red blood cells release the oxygen to the cells. Pretty simple. But to give away the oxygen to the cells, it needs to take carbon dioxide back, and even further, it needs to have a kind of carbon dioxide pressure. So when I am in a state of stress or anxiety or whatever, something is giving me stress, I start to breathe more. It doesn't matter what it is. But in the old ages, evolution-wise, it, for example, was a tiger, to keep it really easy, something in front of me which is a direct danger to me, and I start to breathe more. Okay? What happens then is my body is doing like this because it wants to keep the carbon dioxide more into my system. But when it happens, when I see something which is a complete a direct danger to me, blood will go out of my intestines, it will go to my big muscles, my eyes will go further, adrenaline hormone will appear more than before. And everything will go into a state where I can run or I can fight. Okay? But what happens when I read an email, not of you, Susan, but an email which gets me a little agitated, or when I'm driving and I get a little agitated, or I'm looking at my telephone, or so in these modern times we have a lot more triggers of stress than we used to have. So the body, it tends to create the kind of norm where we are breathing like we are sporting. We're breathing like we're in complete stress all the time. So we're sitting on a couch and we're breathing, and sometimes we don't hear it, but the amount of air which goes in and out of our bodies is too much. And when it goes out, in and out, and especially out of our body, the carbon dioxide loses our body too much, and the percentage of carbon dioxide goes down. The pressure of carbon dioxide goes down. And then paradoxically, if you don't understand what's happening here, and by the way, this is called the Bohr effect, and you can look it up at Google, because otherwise this video will become too long, then less oxygen is going into my system. There's enough oxygen in the blood, but it's not released. So when you train your breathing, you train your breathing like, to keep it short, I'm sorry, but sometimes it's difficult to keep it short. When you train your breathing, you can train your breathing like there's more carbon dioxide in your system, so you have more oxygen released into your system in a daily life. Or when you have anxiety. So anxiety will appear a lot less, and when you have anxiety, you can know how to breathe, where you can help yourself. But the most important thing, I think, is when you start training on a daily basis for a couple of months, your norm will go up, where you have more balance in your life. So anxiety will appear a lot less. Stress will not stay on you like it was before. So yes, by training your breathing, you can really help yourself with anxiety. And I hope I give you an answer. And I'm sorry it took a little bit long, because if I want to give you a complete story, I will talk about this for hours. But thanks, Susan, for the question, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.